UFC Fight Night Atlanta, Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley just ended, and this is going to be my full card post-fight. In a card that was actually decent for a change on paper, and then turns out this card ended up being filled with a lot of stinkers. But we did have some interesting fight. The main event, Kamaru Usman defeats Joaquin Buckley. We have the Rodolfo Bellato incident, one of the most embarrassing moments in UFC history. We had the crazy comeback of Phil Rowe. We're going to break it all down this video. We're going to go through every single fight on the card. If you guys enjoy these videos, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the people's main event, the very first fight of the night. Jamie Lynn Horth versus Vanessa Demopoulos. Jamie Lynn Horth wins in an absolute barn burner, unanimous decision. What to say about this fight? You know, I'll say this. All the weirdo UFC incel simps that were like on social media, like googly eyes, oh my God, Vanessa Demopoulos did a split on stage, and all the weird ass like social media accounts like posting it and like, oh, here's a new angle. We got new cell phone footage. You guys are fucking weirdos. Okay, first off, let me start with that. Demopoulos is a scrub and she got treated like a scrub. Her head was like a pinball the entire first round. She's getting busted up, bloodied, outstruck. Even I think got taken down in the first round late and controlled. Second round, more of the same, getting busted up. I mean, her head was literally looking like a pinball, just getting smack, smack, smack. Third round, she kind of started to make it a little bit interesting. Then she tried to get a takedown, tried to drag Jamie Lynn Horth to the ground. Jamie Lynn Horth just went with her and then just turned into her and ended up on top. What's there to say about this fight other than Jamie Lynn Horth won all 3 rounds? Don't really care. That's what it is. I expected this outcome, and there you go. That's the first fight of the night. Next fight on the card. This was absolutely insane. We had Phil Rowe versus Ange Loosa. Phil Rowe gets a 3rd round TKO. Loosa was basically dominating. I mean, the first round, he was tagging him on the feet, got a takedown, controlled him the entire first round, basically. Second round was tagging him on the feet, not wrestling as much. Then Rose started tagging him a bit, and then Loosa started throwing back, hurt him, dropped Rowe, and then tried to finish him towards the end of the round, ended up on top. Loosa clearly won the first 2 rounds. Third round, I want to say maybe a minute and a half in, maybe 2 minutes in, Loosa fights hard on a takedown, gets a takedown, is so close to cementing the position, and Rowe just forces his way up. Just forces his way up, and Loosa is completely gassed from all the grappling that he just did to get him there and try to control him there, and Rowe just starts walking him down, just touching him up. And there's multiple exchanges. I don't remember every exchange in detail, but Rowe is just walking him down, tagging him with straight shots. He knows he needs a finish here. He's tagging him with straight shots. Losa's like scrambling all around the cage, tripping on. Like it could have arguably been a standing TKO at one point, but eventually they end up in a position where Rowe has him mushed with one hand, his left hand, and then he's just smashing him with the right hand on the mouth over and over and over again. By the way, Loosa lost his mouthpiece like a minute prior. And basically, Losa's just up against the fence. He took too many straight right hands. He was gassed, and he's just getting brutalized. And eventually, as he's getting hit with these right hands over and over and over again, eventually he tries to like lean the other way. He just falls face down. Referee jumps in. The fight's over. 3rd round TKO, Phil Rowe. Crazy comeback. This fight was pretty much what I expected. I just thought Loosa would get it done. I really did think that he was better. I thought he was the better striker, and I thought he could mix in the grappling, which he did. But he just gassed out, man. His cardio looked atrocious. And credit to Phil Rowe. He knew he lost those first 2 rounds. He was aggressive in that 3rd round. And I thought for sure, I think it was about 3 minutes, maybe 10 seconds, when Loosa got the takedown, and it seemed like he was going to settle in that position, and Rowe just exploded up. Right there, Rowe could have quit, because it would have been done right there. He had accepted that position. He would have just been there for the rest of the round. He never let Loosa cement the position. He scrambled up and went for the finish. So credit to Phil Rowe. Gets it done via 3rd round TKO in a crazy comeback. Next fight on the card, we have Ricky Simón versus Cameron Smotherman. What what do I even say about this one? I mean, I had a 30-27. Ricky Simón out-grappled him the entire fight. Second and third round, there was a little bit more striking exchanges. Second, maybe half the round was a striking exchange. I think he got him down early. Then Smotherman worked back up, but Smotherman was worried about the takedown, so he couldn't let his hands go. Third round was like 3.5 minutes of striking. Smotherman was looking for a finish. Simón was landing his own good shots. He was kind of pushing him against the fence as well and shooting it on takedowns, but he was tired. He was starting to gas out. Smotherman had an okay third round. Maybe you could score the third round for Smotherman, but I had Ricky Simón winning the whole fight. And basically, it was just Smotherman couldn't stuff the takedown. The entirety of the first round, he was controlled. And Simón was good enough on the feet. It's not like Smotherman had him outclassed on the feet. And Ricky Simón would just throw good shots, close the distance, look for a takedown, or push him up against the fence, work him over, bust him up, take him down, rinse, repeat, control him. Smotherman would work back up, he'd take him back down. And honestly, it's like, I think Cameron Smotherman took this maybe on short notice, or did Ricky Simón take this on short notice? I'm not sure. Let me actually take a look real quick. I think Smotherman may have taken it on short notice. Yeah, it was supposed to be Charles Jourdain. Smotherman took it on short notice. So we'll give him a bit of a pass. You know, you took Ricky Simón on short notice, so we'll give you a bit of a pass. I still don't think he's all that great. Now he's lost 2 in a row. Ricky Simón gets it done. Once a ranked bantamweight. I don't know if we'll ever be there again, but Ricky Simón gets it done over Cameron Smotherman. A short notice Cameron Smotherman. Next fight on the card, we have Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. Crazy second round KO by Jose Ochoa. I mean, this was incredible. First round Ochoa, I thought he still won the first round. It was a very competitive first round. He's landing good body shots, landing good punches early. Durden gets a takedown, controls him for a little bit. Ochoa works his way to the fence, works his way back up, starts getting a little wild and crazy, gets clipped with a shot as he's landing his own combinations, stumbles backwards. Durden shoots another takedown, gets him down again, controls him for the rest of the round, but I still thought Ochoa did enough damage in the first round to win. But we didn't have to find out. We didn't have to go to the judges' scorecards, because in the second round, Ochoa comes out, lands like a short uppercut, backs Durden up. Durden was hurt badly from the uppercut. And then as Durden's backing up, I think it was a picture perfect. I think it was a left hand that landed and put him down bad. Ochoa just follows up, brutal ground and pound shots. Referee was out of position because when Durden got hit with the left hand, he fell to his left, and the ref was on the right-hand side of Durden. So the referee had to like go around the ground and pound sequence, and Ochoa was just smashing Durden on the ground. There's a little tiny bit of a late stoppage. Durden was out brutally. I mean, he was out cold. It was a filthy finish. And it was a great performance from Jose Ochoa. I mean, he's an interesting prospect in the division. We need more prospects in the flyweight division. And he went out there. Cody Durden, while I don't think like he's the elite of the elite, he's a decent test for some of these up-and-coming flyweights. And Jose Ochoa went out there and starched him out badly in the second round. Durden is very durable. I'm stumbling over my own words here because I feel like I had a cough. But yeah, great win from Jose Ochoa. Dominated Cody Durden. I mean, didn't dominate him. Dealt with a little bit of adversity, but got a dominant finish in the second round. Great finishing sequence. Felt like the prelims had all the crazy finishes. Anyway, next fight on the card, we have Malcolm Wellmaker versus Kris Moutinho. How shit is Sean O'Malley? All right, I know that's kind of a, I'm being a little bit satirical there. Malcolm Wellmaker came out to put a statement, get a statement win here. He was just spamming aggressive power shots, looking for a brutal KO. Moutinho had some moments, and it looked like Wellmaker, okay, he's getting a little bit too crazy, hunting this finish, hunting for the head of Kris Moutinho. And I was like, you know what? He could gas out. He's throwing all these power shots. He's turning over on every shot. And Moutinho had a couple shots that he landed back, but eventually there was a picture-perfect right hand. I think there was like a faint body kick because he was throwing nonstop teeps as well. I think there was like a faint body kick. And then as Moutinho lowered his guard, he just threw a nice tight right hook. Dropped Moutinho face down. Brutal KO. I think while this was a super impressive finish, and it was a great highlight reel finish for Malcolm Wellmaker, I think we got to pump the brakes. This is Kris Moutinho, boys. And while Sean O'Malley did eventually become champion by damn near going to a decision with Kris Moutinho, and Wellmaker put him out, we got to pump the brakes. People are like, Malcolm Wellmaker, he's the next big thing, this and that. It reminds me of like a Peyton Talbot-esque hype. Reminds me of that. Now, I'm a believer in Malcolm Wellmaker. I'm not like, oh, he's going to be a future champion. He's definitely a future contender. I believe he's an interesting prospect with a very good skill set that could eventually be that. But I think people are getting a little too carried away. People are like, man, I'm telling you, man, Wellmaker's so damn... It's Kris Moutinho. It's Kris Moutinho. By the way, I feel sorry for Moutinho, man. He has that run in the UFC, gets cut, goes wins a bunch of fights outside the UFC, gets called back up to fight Malcolm Wellmaker. Give this man a winnable fight, for the love of God. Give him a winnable fight. So Kris Moutinho gets brutally put to sleep. Can't wait to see who Malcolm Wellmaker fights next. Picture perfect KO on the prelims. And that was borderline the end of the exciting finishes. So the featured prelim. Oh, God. How am I supposed to even talk about some of these fights, boys? I'm sorry. I'm going to be very sparse with details on some of these fights. Michael Chiesa, Court McGee. It was two dead bodies. I mean, Michael Chiesa won. They were both punching air the entire time. I mean, it was dog shit. It was dog shit. I scored, I think, all 3 rounds for Michael Chiesa. Man, the fight was horrific. They were both just throwing shots at the air the entire time. Both of their striking looked like dog shit. They both look over the hill. They both look like they need to retire. They both look like they were 50 years old. Second round, McGee landed a hard groin shot early. Third round, Court McGee, I think, tried to grapple a little bit, but wasn't really able to get any success with it. And I think the third round was the closest round, but first and second went to Chiesa. It was really a dog shit fight, man. It's like, why are these guys still in the UFC? Someone told me Michael Chiesa said, yeah, I'm going to go for another run. My body feels better than ever. I don't know if that's true. I'm assuming that's true. No, you're not. And while I get it, okay, at least the UFC put these two guys on the prelims, man. Remember when Chiesa was asking for a main event in Seattle? Ugh. I'll tell you this. I watched the season of The Ultimate Fighter Michael Chiesa was on. And I remember, I think he lost his dad that season. I mean, that's just a random memory I have, that part. But I'll tell you this. Michael Chiesa has not evolved since The Ultimate Fighter. And you guys know I don't even watch The Ultimate Fighter. So I don't even remember the last time I watched The Ultimate Fighter. So it had to be at least 10 years ago, probably. He hasn't evolved ever. He got a win over Court McGee. Court McGee's a dead body. They're both dead bodies. Maybe Chiesa has a very faint pulse. Don't really know what to say. It was a horrible fight. It was a stinker. The arena was booing up a storm for this entire fight card, basically. And this was really the start of it. Michael Chiesa gets a unanimous decision victory over Court McGee in the featured prelim. Imagine betting on this. Imagine what sick son of a bitch bets on Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. Imagine the sick, twisted individual that bets on these types of fights. But Chiesa gets it done. Anyway, let's move along. Oh, God. Let's move along to the main card. The first fight opening up the main card is Paul Craig versus Rodolfo Bellato. I may make a dedicated video on this. I want your guys' feedback if you want like a 20-minute breakdown of this with clips and everything, if I can try to get it in without the UFC copyrighting me. Competitive first round, kind of back and forth. Paul Craig shot a couple takedowns, wasn't able to really get him. The last takedown that he went for, he got in deep, but then he decided to pull guard. Both of them looked like shit up until this point. It was like a minute left. He pulls guard. Bellato kind of hangs out on top. Doesn't really do anything that can put him in any danger at all. Then at the last like 5-10 seconds of the round, maybe 15 seconds, Bellato starts to posture up and try to throw ground and pound. Eventually goes back to a knee, and Paul Craig throws an up kick. And Bellato falls back KO'd. Puts on this whole song and dance, like jumps awake, starts grappling with the referee for 30 minutes, acting like, I'm so KO'd, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm grappling the ref, even though he clearly knows what he's doing. And then they ended up ruling it a no contest because Bellato could not continue because he was, quote-unquote, brutally KO'd. I need you guys to know there is no doubt in my mind, okay, that this was fake, this was fraudulent. I have an opinion to why that happened. I'll get to that in a second. This was one of the most embarrassing moments in UFC history. Rodolfo Bellato needs to be cut from the organization. And if there's anybody out there who thinks that this was a legitimate KO and that Paul Craig threw the up kick and Bellato went off and people have weird reactions, You are a fucking idiot. I knew it live right away. Go watch my live stream. I knew that shit was fake. When I watched the replay, I knew it was even more fake. Because if you watch the replay, Paul Craig throws the up kick. By the way, it wasn't like the most hellacious up kick ever. It barely lands. It doesn't even really land. It grazes the chin of Bellato. Bellato falls backwards. As he's falling backwards, he turns and looks at the ref and goes like this. Then he pretends that he's out. He flops back. His head does not smack the canvas at all. Some people were saying, well, maybe it was when it smacked the canvas. Then, 10 seconds later, he burst awake like he's seen a ghost. He starts backing up like he's in a horror movie. Then the referee walks over to him. He's clearly looking at the ref. When guys are KO'd and they start wrestling the ref, it's because they don't have eyes on the ref. He's staring at the ref, and he's like, I got to sell this. Let me try to grapple the ref. And he tries to grapple the ref for like 30 seconds. I really don't have the words to truly articulate what a fucking bitch Rodolfo Bellato is. He tried to act his way into a DQ win against Paul Craig. And I'm telling you guys right now, gun to my head. You put a gun to my head right now, right? Somebody who knows the answer. Did Rodolfo Bellato fake it or not? If I'm wrong, I die. If I'm right, I get $20, okay? $20, that's all we're putting on the line right now. Which, I mean, I guess you shouldn't risk your life for $20 anyway. But there is no risk. I'll just swipe up the $20. Yes, it's clear as day. People are like, it wasn't fake, man. The body reacts very different. I posted the clips on Twitter. I just recorded it with my phone, literally as I'm watching on the live stream. The up kick barely landed. He turned to the ref and threw his hands up in the air. Then all of a sudden he goes out. Even Anthony Smith knew it was completely fraudulent. It was bullshit. It was fake. And the reason I think he did it, there's only one reason I can think of. One, maybe he was getting tired. That's not really it. That's not really the real reason. Okay, that's just kind of this, that. When he stood up initially, right at the end of the round, he threw one hard leg kick as Paul Craig's laying on his back. And Bellato kind of stumbled. I wonder if he hurt his leg there. And I wonder if once he ate that up kick that didn't even actually land, by the way, he's like, you know what? I'm going to fall to my back and I'm going to pretend that I got KO'd. So that way I don't have to continue. Maybe I can bait a DQ win and get my win money. It was beyond embarrassing. It was beyond humiliating. It was humiliating for Bellato. It was humiliating for the UFC. It was humiliating for all the fans who watch. This guy is a pussy. This guy is a bum. This guy does not deserve to fight for the organization. He should never fight in any organization again. I almost wonder, like, what else could be a motive for Bellato throwing the fight like this? Did he bet against himself? Well, I guess the bet got void. But I really think he wanted a DQ win. Was it because his leg was injured potentially? Maybe. Was it because maybe he was slowing down? Maybe. But I'll tell you this right now, again, this was 100% fake. This was 100% an acting job. And anyone who looks at that and doesn't see it clear as day, I think is mentally disabled. I'm being dead serious. Like, this isn't up for discussion. There isn't, maybe this or maybe that. No, it barely landed. You watch the slow-mo, it barely landed. And he complained to the ref before finally dropped. And just all the over-exaggerated reactions were him trying to sell it. Anthony Smith said on the post-fight show, yeah, he clearly was not unconscious. But he pretended that he was unconscious. The ultimate bitch boy, Rodolfo Bellato, get him out of the organization. Get him. He's a bum. He's a faker. He's a fraud against Paul Craig. I don't know what's more embarrassing. Getting KO'd by Paul Craig or faking getting KO'd by Paul Craig because you got outstruck the first round and you wanted a potential DQ win. I might make a dedicated video on this depending on the comments on this video. If you guys want that, we're trying to break down like slow-mo footage of this. Let me know down in the comments. Let's jump to the next fight. It ended up being a no contest. I'll end on this. There's some people like, yeah, man, this should be a DQ. It was clear Paul Craig threw an up kick. It should be a DQ. First off, it barely landed. Second off, they're like, oh, it wasn't accidental. He clearly threw it. Bellato was playing that game where he was up and he was down. So even though he was clearly down when the up kick was thrown and partially landed, really just landed to the neck and collarbone, It wasn't like Paul Craig was egregiously throwing up kicks nonstop, and it just happened to land when he was, or he was down the entire time and it landed. So any motherfucker saying Paul Craig should have been DQ'd, go suck on a fat one. You don't know anything about the sport. It was an accidental up kick. He threw it because Bellato was playing that game. Should he have known better? Yes, but in the heat of a fight, it was only 2 seconds between when he was standing and when he was kneeling. So you're talking 2 seconds, a mistake, and then Bellato flops to his back. If Bellato would have got a DQ, when I swear on my life, I probably would have been done with the sport. It would have been that humiliating. And seeing people online saying, Bellato, how dare people question Bellato? Oh my, I want to get demonetized. I just want to scream into the camera. Those people are stupid. Really stupid. Anyway, next fight on the card. Oh my God, talk about another shit fight. Alonzo Menifield versus Oumar Sy. Alonzo Menifield wins via unanimous decision. I mean, this was the most dog shit, dog doo-doo fight I've seen. They both looked horrible. First round, nothing really happened. Menifield had a couple big power shots. Second round, Oumar Sy pushed him against the fence the entire time, had one takedown. He got back up and held him against the fence some more. Horrible. Absolutely atrocious. Third round was absolute joke, man. Oumar Sy landed a couple jabs. When I watched it live, I think I scored 1-3 for Sy, 1-3 for Menifield, and 2 for Sy. I don't know what the judges had it, and quite frankly, I don't give a shit. These guys both look like total scrubs. Sy looked horrible. He's supposed to be this up-and-coming guy who's supposed to be decent in the light heavyweight division, which is garbage. You know, he's physically imposing. He shot it on takedowns for the whole second round, could barely get it, even against a guy in Menifield who was getting out-grappled by Jimmy Crute. And then in the third round, Menifield landed like 2 jabs. That's what won in the third round. If Sy would have just picked up the pace a little bit and just threw volume, even at the forearms, threw a couple leg kicks, he could have literally won the third round and won the fight. No sense of urgency, an embarrassing performance, and one of the worst fights. I mean, the crowd was booing him out of the arena. So I'll tell you this right now, I don't ever want to hear about Oumar Sy ever again. I don't want to ever hear that he's good. I don't want to hear that he's an upcoming prospect. And by the way, isn't that the guy that beat Tukos? Yeah, it is. How bad is Tukos? That's what I want to know. How bad is he? But Oumar Sy loses to Alonzo Menifield. He could have had a ranking potential. I think Menifield was ranked like number 14. But instead, he gets embarrassed by Alonzo Menifield. What's there to say? Just another bummy fight on a bummy card. Okay? Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't have much to say about that fight. Alonzo Menifield gets it done. One of the worst fights I've ever seen. Next fight on the card, we have Mansour Abdul-Malik versus Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage. I'm ranting and raving tonight, boys. Cody Brundage is such a little bitch. I'm going to get demonetized. Boys, I'm going to get demonetized. He's such a bitch. And you know what's crazy? Go watch my live stream. I started giving Brundage some respect. And he just threw all that goodwill away. So let me break it down for you. The first 2 rounds were close. I thought Brundage won the first 2 rounds. I really did. He was landing some good heavy leg kicks. There was one big front kick in the first round that seemed to sting Cody, so maybe you could give the first round to Malik off of that. Brundage was countering him well and outstriking him. Second round, same thing. Malik landed like a good right hand to the ear of Cody that made him bleed in the second round. But I thought Brundage landed more in the second round as well. And then the third round, I guess Malik knew it was close, so he said, let me go out there and try to, beat him up. And he hurt him badly, started swarming and rushing forward. Brundage was kind of brawling with him a bit. And I was like, man, Brundage is actually trying to go to war. And Brundage was throwing back, and he was getting the worst of the exchanges, but he was still throwing back. And then Malik backed up, and then he rushed forward. They clashed heads. Brundage went down. He started grabbing his head as he went down, so he clearly was conscious of that it was a head clash. And then Malik just starts pounding away, and then ends up being a TKO. And then the second the fight is called off, Brundage is pointing to his head like head clash. He knew it was a head clash. I swear some of these guys, especially Brundage, has it built into his psyche. If I'm fouled at all, curl up into a ball and quit, and then hopefully I can get a DQ win. He's done this. I mean, this is Cody Brundage. I mean, this is his, what's the word I'm looking for? This is his bread and butter, okay? Get mildly fouled. And it was a decent head clash, but it really wasn't insane. But he immediately knew, okay, I was head clashed. I was already hurt. Let me drop to the ground and quit, and then maybe I'll get a DQ win. Well, they looked it back. They said, you know what? It was a head clash. Let's rule it via decision so they can score all 3 rounds since I think half the third round had already happened. More than half the third round had already happened. So they scored it, and they gave it via unanimous decision to Mansour Abdul-Malik. To be honest, didn't look that good in the fight. Got to be honest. Did not look that good in the fight. Brundage was disappointed. The second he had 30-27, he knew he had lost. He was hoping to get a win. He was hoping to get a win here. What a little bum, man. I swear, anytime he gets fouled, he's going to get hit in the groin. He's going to look for a DQ. He's going to get eye poked. He's going to look for a DQ. If he gets mildly head clash, he's going to look for a DQ. Because he got it once. He got it once. Mark Smith gave it to him once. He's going to try it over and over and over again. Then, obviously he's down for so long. It's crazy. Ben Askren gets brutally KO'd. By the way, hopefully Ben Askren gets better. I know he's in the hospital. Ben Askren got brutally slumped out cold by a flying knee against Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal bashes his brains into the canvas. And Ben Askren gets up quicker than these guys who are fishing for DQs off of head clashes or an illegal back of the head shot. How was that possible? Somebody tell me how that's possible. And then Brundage jumps up afterwards and is talking to Anthony Smith. They were talking about their, fall to the ground and curl up and quit position. They were talking about their technique. Because that's what they're both known for. So, Mansour Abdul-Malik gets it done. I'm happy he did. Honestly, I thought it should maybe be 29-28 Brundage. But I'm happy Brundage lost. I mean, I thought he looked improved in this fight. But as soon as he gets fouled, he's just looking for a DQ every single time. Every single time. And he was praying he was going to get this technical decision. But Mansour Abdul-Malik gets it done. Next fight on the card. Cody... midlife crisis, Garbrandt versus Hani Barcelos. I mean, Cody Garbrandt, his career is done, man. I know sometimes you guys think, oh, you're shitting on these fighters, and I get it. Some of it's negative. It is what it is. I'm just giving you my unfiltered opinion. Cody Garbrandt is clearly having a midlife crisis. He's washed up, to be honest. I know he's younger, but he's been around forever. He loses, and I flipped back and forth live in my prediction video, and I switched back to Cody last minute. Barcelos got it done, man. And I knew in the first round, I said in the first round, even though I know I can't, once the fight starts, I can't switch my pick. Really, once I make the video, I really can't switch my pick, but I guess I can. Literally, like halfway through the first round, I said, I want to switch my pick to Hani Barcelos. I am confident Hani Barcelos is going to win this fight. First round, Garbrandt's just rushing him with combinations. Most of them are landing on the guard. He lands like one good one on Barcelos that hurts him. Starts taunting like it's 2016 against Dominic Cruz. And I knew right then. Garbrandt ate some shots from Barcelos, ate a knee up the center that cut him open. Barcelos got a late takedown, didn't really do much with it. First round was clearly Cody. Second round, Barcelos was walking him down, tagging him nonstop. I mean, Garbrandt was running his back up against the fence. He's throwing combinations, but it's literally the same combination over and over and over again like he did against DJ Dillashaw when he got KO'd. Getting beat up. Barcelos was mixing in takedowns, wasn't able to really get any of them. Hurt Garbrandt bad at the end. Garbrandt shot him on a desperation takedown after he got hurt with a punch at the end of the second round. Clearly, Barcelos won the second round. Third round, same thing. Barcelos tagging him on the feet. Cody Garbrandt shooting takedowns. At one point, Barcelos took him down, took the back for a little bit, was looking for a rear naked choke. Garbrandt was able to get up and then do absolutely nothing. Garbrandt has nothing left, man. He's getting outworked by a 40-year-old battle axe in Hani Barcelos. Had no stamina, looked pudgy, has a tattoo on his eye, getting outstruck by Barcelos, getting out grappled by Barcelos. This dude is still living in 2016, I think. It really is a sad career fall off if we're all being honest here. Man. And then he's taunting in the first. What a dumbass. He's clipping Barcelos instead of trying to follow up while Barcelos is hurt. He's doing his little corny ass dance moves like it's 2016. Bro, you're unranked. You're like in your early 30s. I think he's like 32. Let me actually look that up really quickly. I think he's like 32, 33, if I'm not mistaken. He is 33. About to turn 34. Yeah, his career's over. His career is over. That must be so sad. He hasn't been ranked in years, and he would have won this fight. He could have called out Sean O'Malley and probably gotten that fight because they want to get Sean O'Malley back on the track. Sean O'Malley may be Sean O'Malley's future may be Cody Garbrandt. That's the craziest part. That is insane. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, I mean, Barcelos gets it done. Cody Garbrandt's career is over. I wish I wouldn't have picked him, man. I'm embarrassed of that pick. I should have stuck with my guns. But it is what it is. Barcelos gets it done. Next fight on the card, Edmen Shahbazyan versus Andre Petroski. Shahbazyan basically outstruck him the entire fight. First round, Petroski shot a couple takedowns, never really got close. There was like a jab and then a left hand that was landing for Shahbazyan. Shahbazyan hurt him in the first round, but didn't really follow up. Clear first round for Edmen Shahbazyan. Second round was a little bit more competitive. Petroski had some moments. I think he got like one takedown, but then Shahbazyan jumped right back up, had good hips, was able to jump back up. And then late in the round, it seemed like maybe Petroski might take this round. Then late in the round, Edmen Shahbazyan got really aggressive, started pushing forward, landed good combinations, and like stung him with a punch. And I thought he stole the second round like late. By the way, early in the round, there was an eye poke. As Shahbazyan looks like he's slowing down, Petroski got eye poked. Petroski didn't even want to take the time, and then the ref forced him. That was actually beneficial to Shahbazyan, who has shit cardio. Third round, I never went back and watched the replay. Apparently, there was a head clash. The replay kind of looked a little bit crummy, as some would say. But then they started back up. Shahbazyan was winning on the feet. I think Petroski got one takedown. Then Shahbazyan started throwing hard head kicks that landed on the arms of Petroski. He clearly hurt his arm. As soon as you could tell his arm hurt from the head kick, Shahbazyan threw another one, dropped Petroski, kind of followed up on the ground looking for a finish, realized he wasn't getting it, waved him back up, started targeting the body, and Shahbazyan won the third round. So I had 30-27 for Edmen Shahbazyan. Outstruck him, was able to really not allow the takedowns. It says 2 takedowns here on the stats here. I mean, I guess maybe they count, but at the end of the day, never really controlled Shahbazyan at all. Shahbazyan's cardio is still dog shit, though, I got to say. It wasn't even a crazy output, and he was tired in the third round. But he looked for the finish. He almost had it. Petroski really just didn't have anything. He's throwing one punch, big shots to try to put Shahbazyan away, and it really never really landed clean with anything. Maybe 1 or 2 punches landed clean, but that was really it. And Edmen Shahbazyan was just clearly the better striker in this fight. I believe that was a featured fight on the card. It was an okay fight. It wasn't anything to write home about, but yeah, Shahbazyan gets it done. Next fight on the card, the co-main event. I was so close, boys. I was so close to getting this right. Rose Namajunas, Miranda Maverick. It was very competitive, very, very competitive fight. Rose Namajunas gets it done. First round, back and forth on the feet. Rose was landing some good shots. Rose got one takedown, but wasn't really able to do much with it. Miranda Maverick was smashing the legs, landed a couple good combinations, got tagged herself, landed one good right hand as well. I thought Maverick squeaked out the first round, just barely squeaked out the first round. Then the second round, Rose gets a takedown. There's like some scrambles. Miranda's kind of laying in her guard, or Rose is trying to lay in Miranda's guard for a little bit. She's looking for like a triangle. And then eventually, Miranda gets to her knees. Rose starts looking for a rear naked choke. Miranda Maverick scrambles out. It's like the last minute of the round. Almost gets an arm triangle. Looks like she's going to get the arm triangle with like 30 seconds to go. Rose is able to like scramble up, and Miranda Maverick does a bunch of damage on the ground. I thought Maverick stole the second round in the last minute. And so I thought Maverick was up 2-0 going into the third. And then Rose, it's debatable whether it was actually a legitimate drop or it was like a leg injury, but a punch landed from Rose. Miranda Maverick went down. I initially thought it was a leg injury, and Maverick was like favoring the leg afterwards. We saw the replay one time, but I need to see a couple different angles. I don't think it was the power. I don't think she was rocked badly, but Rose followed it to the ground, looked to finish her. Miranda Maverick never was really close to getting finished, and then kind of scrambled out on top, maybe like a minute to go, but wasn't able to hold the position. Rose scrambled back and ended up back on top. Rose clearly took the third round. And I don't think this is a robbery by any means. The first round could have went either way. I think second round has to go to Miranda Maverick. I think 2 judges had it 30-27 for Rose. I don't know what the fuck they were watching. At least one judge did. So I think this, even though I was wrong on this pick, and I know some people were clowning me for this pick, I think it still kind of proved my point. I think Rose is on the decline, and having Pat Barry in her corner is just really, it's not good to have Pat Barry as your head coach and husband. It's just really not. So I actually enjoyed this fight. It wasn't the worst fight in the world. It was a decent women's MMA fight. I think Maverick proved that she's a decent fighter. She's not one of these scrub women's MMA fighters, but still she lost to Rose Namajunas. That third round really cost her. But either way, I guess if she won the third round, she would have lost the fight anyway, since 2 judges had it 30-27, I believe, for Rose Namajunas. But decent fight in the co-main event. Next fight on the card, the main event. How did this get fight of the night? Who's making these fight of the night? Fight of the fucking night? Yeah, this video is getting demonetized. Leave a super thanks down below, okay? Because this video is getting demonetized. Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Usman dogged this man. Usman won clear as day 4-1. Look, I know I picked Buckley, but I even said, look, if Usman's like 70%, 75% of what he wants he wins this fight easily. Buckley is overrated, and this fight just proved it. I mean, he was brutally exposed, had no grappling. Let me put it this way. I know people were saying, oh, Buckley's a future title contender, and Buckley was talking about Islam and whatnot, which is crazy. Buckley's not that good. He beat a washed-up Colby Covington, and Colby was not even good in his prime. Buckley has no wrestling. Buckley doesn't even have good striking. He just has good power. He has very good stamina, and he has physicality on his side. He got ragdolled and dominated for the first 4 rounds. First round, I gave it 10-8. Usman shot a takedown with like 20 seconds, 30 seconds into the first round, took him down with ease, wrapped up his legs, cemented the position, and beat the dog shit out of him. Second round, a little bit later, maybe 2 minutes into the second round, Buckley maybe landed a couple shots. Usman gets another takedown. Domination again. Third round, there was like a moment where Buckley landed like a 2-3 punch combo. And then Usman shot a single, turned it to a double, took him down again, beat him up again. Fourth round, similar thing. I think third or fourth round, there was a head kick that landed by Buckley as well. But the first 4 rounds was rinse repeat. Takedown from Usman, Buckley never got up, not one time. Now, the 5th round, Usman started to slow down a bit. Probably from all the control and all the ground and pound that he did. He busted up Buckley, had him bleeding in the first round. In the 5th round, it started getting a little dicey for Usman. Buckley was stuffing some of the takedowns, landed some combinations, but Usman was eating them. Usman was eating those shots. And it was a little bit hairy for a second there, but Usman clearly still won the fight. I didn't think he was in any like severe trouble in the 5th round, but Buckley was just throwing wild winging shots. Usman had slowed down, and he wasn't able to get the takedowns as easily as he was able to in the first 4 rounds. I think this fight, I think it really showed us a lot. Usman's still there somewhat. I don't think, anybody saying like Prime Usman's back. Prime Usman's a problem. Usman's calling for JDM versus Islam winner. Like, dude, you're on a 3-fight losing streak. Shut your mouth. But, I mean, Buckley got exposed badly, man. He got beaten up by a less than prime Kamaru Usman. And to be honest, we all should have known it. Again, I said, leading up to this fight, I don't believe in Buckley at all. Gary starches him, Bilal starches him, JDM starches him. I'd literally pick Kevin Holland over Joaquin Buckley right now. And you guys know how I feel about Kevin Holland. But I just thought Usman, late 30s, 2-year layoff, 3-fight losing streak, nonstop podcasting, confidence can't be there. And that was clear when he gave his post-fight interview. It was very emotional. But Buckley's just not that good, man. He had nothing off of his back. He's a fish out of water. I think it was in the 4th round. Usman shot in on a takedown, pushed him against the fence. Buckley was like talking shit, thinking he had it stuffed. And then Usman ragdolled him to the ground and beat him up some more. Multiple times throughout this fight, Usman had him in full mount. And Usman was popping him with a jab too here and there. Landed a one big right hand, I think, in the 4th or 3rd round. Buckley's not beating any of these top guys at welterweight. It's just not happening. So Usman's back in the win column. Good on him. I mean, that's really tough. Being in your late 30s, 3-fight losing streak, 2-year layoff. It's hard to come back and get a win against anyone, especially a young, up-and-coming guy with the physicality of Joaquin Buckley. But Buckley has no takedown defense. His striking isn't technical at all. I mean, I respect him for trying to win in the 5th round, but at the end of the day, it was already done. What was done was done. I think Usman doesn't get enough respect, to be honest. A lot of people hate him in the MMA community, I guess because he was a dominant champion for so long. But he deserves respect, man. Beating Buckley, taking a young up-and-comer like Buckley, taking him on and beating him and dominating him in the fashion that he did was very impressive. But at the end of the day, Buckley's not that great. Usman needs to win at least one more fight before even thinking about getting a title shot. But everyone, the UFC has convalesced a culture of begging for undeserved title shots because everyone gets them. So I don't even blame the fighters anymore. It should be Usman versus Bilal next. Usman versus Bilal Muhammad is a banger. A banger. By the way, put some respect on Khamzat Chimaev's win over Kamaru Usman. People were acting like it was meaningless. He ragged out Usman. Imagine what Chimaev would have done to Buckley at welterweight. Imagine. So put some respect on Chimaev's name. People are like, man, Usman almost won, man. First off, he didn't almost win. He lost. And second off, Usman was a better win than Paulo Costa. I'll never forget. I don't want to go into a diatribe about Khamzat. When Kamaru stepped in for Costa, everyone was like, this is a harder matchup. Then when Khamzat beat Kamaru Usman, everyone acted like it was never a good win. Makes no sense. Usman still in his late 30s, dominating Buckley. Buckley was overhyped off of beating a washed-up, shit-your-britches Colby Covington who ran from Ian Machado Gary. Would love to see Usman versus Bilal next. Buckley talked all that crap to Gary. Wouldn't mind seeing that fight, but I'd prefer to see like Gary versus Sean Brady. But yeah, I mean, Usman got it done. Grappling was superior, was way stronger than Buckley. Buckley really had nothing to offer other than spamming big wild-winging shots in the 5th round, whiffing on massive uppercuts. Had a couple moments. Got a little bit dicey, but really, Usman was never hurt. Buckley took the 5th round. I do think, like, anyone acting like Usman's back or Usman's in his prime again, I think that's not true. I think a lot of the top guys still beat Usman. I think Bilal beats Usman. I think JDM probably beats Usman. I think Gary beats Usman. I think Usman's, he's slowed down significantly. His striking isn't what it once was. But then again, he had a long layoff, so we'll have to see him in his next fight. He's now asking for the winner of JDM versus Islam, which isn't happening till the end of the year, so I guess he wants to sit out a whole nother year, which isn't good when you're almost 40 years old. But yeah, I think this was a diminished Usman. Clearly, we all knew he was out of his prime, but a diminished Usman is still enough to beat Joaquin Buckley. There you go. That's my wrap-up for UFC Atlanta. What'd you guys think of the main event? I'm very curious. Let me know down in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. I'm trying to get to 40,000 subscribers sooner rather than later, and then 50 by the end of the year. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.